Okay, so when you get into the coding HyperDoc, this is your assignment for today on our Google Classroom. You're going to open this up. Once you have it open, the first page is just kind of an introduction to why it's important to know coding and why it is good in the classroom. Then what you're going to do with a HyperDoc is you start at the top and you work your way down this direction, doing each of the activities in each block as you go. The beautiful thing about these is that you can work at your own pace and do any activity that you want to over again if you feel like you need to. The first thing that you're going to need is to watch this video, so you're just going to click on it and then go to this link. So that's pretty self-explanatory. The next one then is a Blockly maze. So what the instructions tell you to do here is just to do numbers 1 and 2 for now. You can go back to it later if you want to, if you find it fun. And I'm going to go into this one just to show you, if you haven't done any coding before, this is what coding kind of looks like. So this is the Blockly maze, and when you code an electronic device, there are lots of different languages that you can use to do that. What's being shown to you here is kind of the beginner level coding, which is called block coding. So I'll show you how those work. Once you get to this Blockly maze, you press play, and then what happens over here is this is your canvas, and so anything that you put over here is what's going to happen when you run your program. Okay, so right now they give you automatically this move forward block, and when you press run program, you see what it does. So you notice that it moved forward, but it didn't move forward far enough to get to your goal. So we're going to reset that, and then we're going to use another move forward block. Now notice that when I drag this over here, that there's like a puzzle piece. They fit together kind of like puzzle pieces. So you're going to grab this one, click and drag, and attach it here like a puzzle piece, and then run your program again to see what happens. And there we go, and we got our goal. Okay, so when you do this block programming, that's what you're going to do. You're going to drag these blocks over to a canvas, and then you can run your program as many times as you need to kind of figure out what it does and where to go from there. So again, on the directions, it tells you to go through mazes 1 and 2, and then go back to the coding HyperDoc. So do that first, but if you want to, you can come back to Blockly later and go through these other levels. So then we're going to go back to our coding HyperDoc. The next thing that I want to explain to you is this engagement activity. What this is a Google drawing that has been embedded into this HyperDoc. So in order to open this correctly, you're going to go over here to this blue area and double click, and it opens the drawing up. Then what you need to do is to figure out how your penguin needs to move through the yellow path in order to get to the fish. The first thing that you're going to need to do on a lot of programs, the very, very first block is always going to be this when run block. So you're going to put it first. Basically what that means is when I run this program, here are the things that are going to happen in this order. Okay, so you'll need to figure out how he needs to move forward and when he needs to turn and then move forward, and tell him all of those things. When you're finished with it, when you've got all of your blocks, you'll use all of these blocks over here in this kind of canvas area. Once you have all those put in place, then you save and close, and then you can check your code here, okay, to see if you got him to move correctly. Then go on to programming the Lightbot. If you get to this point and the Lightbot link gives you a 404 message, I will put I'll put the URL in parentheses right after this or something. I'll put it in your Google Classroom. so that you'll be able to see it, to see the correct one. But if you notice, this is the right one. So it's lightbot.com/flash.html. For some reason it's not changing on the one on the document that's on your Google Classroom, I think. So if you get to this program Lightbot and your link doesn't work, I'll post the correct URL in the Google Classroom so that you can follow it. Okay? You could spend probably the rest of this block on programming this Lightbot, because there are so many different levels for you to do. And it is kind of challenging and fun. But if you want to, you then can continue on to Hour of Code and do some of the activities here. You do not have to sign up with your Google account. You can just log in or just click on this Hour of Code website and just get started on any of the activities that look fun to you. And then you could also do the Hour of Code digital breakout. So any of these activities at the end. But like I said, this programming Lightbot is going to be challenging and fun, so I imagine that you'll spend a lot of time on this one. So this is the assignment for you to do today. And when you are finished with it, this should take you the rest of this block to get done. So have a good time with this. See you later.